Hey everyone, it's Sarah. Today I filmed this Beauty and the Beast inspired look. I figured since the movie was being released today and I'm super excited about it, I would do a look inspired by it. So I kind of got the blue and the brown from the Beast and the gold from Belle, obviously. So if you like this look and you want to see how I got it, then just stay tuned. Also, I know today is St. Patrick's Day. I also have a video up for that if you haven't seen it and you need any inspiration for going out tonight, so be sure to check that out. It'll be linked in the down bar. Alright everybody, so I obviously have one eye done as per usual, and I'm just going to clip my hair up so it's out of my face, and we are going to get started. So first I'm taking this Anastasia Fawn shadow and my Sigma blending brush, and I'm just going to blend this into the crease. So you'll notice I go in with the most amount of product on the outer corner, and then I build it up blending into the inner corner of the crease, and then we are going to just continue building up that shadow till I'm happy with the opacity. This is just going to be one of the first many transition shades that I'm going to be using, so just any warm light brown shadow will do. Okay, so next taking my Master Palette by Mario and taking the shade Lula, and honestly this is almost the exact same color as the last shade I used, just a little bit warmer and a little bit darker, and I'm just going to place this right underneath the other shadow that we just applied. And this is just so that we have like a very nice gradient for our smoky brown eye. So next, taking the shade Whimsy from the Tarte Pro palette, I'm just going to blend this into my crease, keeping this the lowest of the three shadows that we just applied. So like I said, going from lightest to a little bit darker, closer to the crease, and the darkest in the crease. And it doesn't really matter if you get this shadow on the lid, it's not a big deal because we'll be covering it up. So next I'm just taking a fluffy blending brush and just blending out the edges. So next, going back in with the Fawn shade from Anastasia, I am going to re-go over the edges just to make sure that I didn't blend anything out too much. And again, going back in with my clean blending brush, making sure we have no harsh edges. I am going to do this a lot in this video. That's how you achieve a nice smoky eye. So next, going in with Anastasia Fudge, and I'm going to take this on a MAC 239 brush, and I'm just going to apply this to the whole lid. Now you want to use patting motions, not so much sweeping motions, and that will eliminate the amount of fallout that you get, and it'll also make the shadow more pigmented. So next, taking the shade Edgy from the Tarte Pro palette, and this is honestly just a hair bit darker than the last shade that we used, and I'm just repacking that all over the shadow, just because I felt like it wasn't pigmented enough. So then I'm going to go in with Smoked from the Tarte Pro palette, and this is definitely darker than the last shade, and I'm going to pack this closest to the lash line. And then of course going back with my clean blending brush and blending everything out. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Classic from the Tarte Pro palette and that blending brush that we've been using, and I'm just going to blend out the edges, and if the shadow got too high anywhere, I will use this shadow to kind of diffuse the color a little bit. So next, going back in with Fawn again and my fluffy blending brush, and we are just going to go over the edges again in case we lost any pigmentation that we wanted to have there. Okay, so next going in with a makeup wipe, and I'm just going to clean out the outer edge and make it a little bit more of a sharp line because the shadow came down a little bit too far. And then I'm also just going to make sure there's no fallout under my eye. Okay, so next taking my NYX Vivid Brights liner, and this is in Vivid Sapphire, and I'm just going to draw quite a large wing with this. These liners I feel like are so easy to create a wing, but they do get a little crumbly. I didn't have any flake off on me during the day, it's just they feel quite dry and tight on your eyes. So next, going in with some gold glitter and my Kylie Cosmetics glitter adhesive, and just a regular old thin paintbrush. You can go in with a liner brush, whatever you have. And I'm just going to add the gold glitter liner over top of the blue, but I'm going to go from inner corner and then just to where the wing begins. I'm not going to continue it with the wing, just because I feel like sometimes it can get a little bit too thick, but it's all your personal preference. So next, again, going back in with the makeup wipe, making sure I don't have any glitter fallout under my eyes or on my face before we start our base. So next, taking the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. It's a pore minimizing primer. So I'm going to pack this on. You'll see me patting it on where my pores are the largest. And then other than that, I'll just apply a small amount of product to the rest of my face just to help smooth it out. You really do not need a lot of this product because it will start to ball up. So next, taking my Hourglass foundation, and this is in the shade Linen. And this is a little bit too dark / yellow for me. So I applied this to the kind of contours of my face, the perimeter. So just exactly where you would apply contour or bronzer, and then I brought it down my neck to make sure that it blended out. Next, I'm taking my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and this is in the shade 4, and I'm applying this to the center of my face because it's a little bit more of a glowy, dewy foundation. I'm still trying to get the hang of how to use this Hourglass foundation. I really like it on camera and here, and I did like it with the Luminous Silk, but I haven't fallen in love with it yet. Just in case you haven't seen my review video on that. So next, going in with my beauty blender, I'm going to blend out majority of the inner part of my face first because it is the lighter of the two, and then I will go back and blend out the contours of my face, the perimeter. So I wasn't really happy with how this foundation looked. I felt like it looked really yellow on camera. It looked normal in person, but I go back and fix that with bronzer and concealer afterwards, and it makes a huge difference. But yeah, just in case you're worried and like thinking that this looks crazy, because I definitely was. I was ready to take it off and do my foundation again, but I stuck with it. Just make sure that you blend out your foundation in your hairline, and then I blended it out to my ears. So next, going in with my favorite concealers, the Urban Decay Naked Concealers in the shade Light and Fair. You guys know this now. And I'm going to apply light first, and then I'm going to apply this under my eyes, on the high points of my face, so down the center of my nose, center of my forehead, and my chin. And then I just do a little bit around my nose because it's quite red there. And then I'm going back in with Fair and placing this exactly over top of it, just so that we have the perfect shade. And again, using my beauty blender to pounce this out, and you know I always say this, but make sure when you're blending out your concealer, you're going back and you're going forth. You're going in towards your nose and out towards the corner of your eye. So next, I'm going to take my Cover FX Translucent Setting Powder in the shade Light and a Sigma Large Shader Brush, and I'm going to pack this under the eyes. I really like this powder for under the eyes. I feel like it's the least drying for me. And you'll notice that I don't bake because my under eyes are really dry, so I just apply a light layer. So next, going in with my Laura Mercier Translucent Light Setting Powder, no, just Translucent Setting Powder, and a big fluffy brush. This is my favorite brush. This is the IT Cosmetics powder brush, and I'm just going to set my whole face because the Hourglass foundation is quite creamy, so I just want to make sure that it doesn't budge throughout the day. So next, going in with my all-time favorite bronzer, NARS Laguna, and my Sigma stippling brush, dual fiber brush, And we're just going to apply this basically where we applied the darker foundation. So we're going to apply this to the hollows of our cheeks, the temples of our forehead, along the jawline, and a little bit down the neck. And I feel like this really helped the foundation out. Okay, so next, going with my all-time favorite blush. We're using my all-time favorite products in this video, guys. And I said, of course, that I'm using this. And then my IT Cosmetics blush brush. And this is in the shade Exposed, if I didn't mention that. And we're just going to apply this to our apples of our cheeks and blend it out. It's just a very natural blush on me. And for my fair skin, it doesn't appear too pink or too anything. It's just perfect. It's got that flush look. So next, going in with my new favorite highlighter, and this is the Kylie Cosmetics French Vanilla Highlighter. And I'm going to apply this to my cheekbones, and I'm going to apply it to my nose, the bridge of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. Now I will be going over this with another highlighter afterwards, and it is a gold highlighter, but sometimes gold shows up a little bit too dark on me, so I wanted to first have a lighter base for the gold to sit on top of, so it's not such a stark gold line or anything like that on me. And of course, I just really love this highlighter. So like I said, this isn't absolutely necessary, but I'm a little extra sometimes. So then going in with the same highlighter and just putting this on the inner corners of my eye and the bridge of my nose. And if you haven't seen my review video for these highlighters, make sure you go check it out. It'll also be linked in the down bar. So next, going in with the Jaclyn Hill and Becca collab palette, I'm going in with Prosecco Pop, which is a more gold highlight, and I'm just going to go over all the places that I just placed the French Vanilla highlight. Like I said, this is super extra and you definitely don't have to do this. You can just go in with the gold or with any highlighter that you want, but I figured, you know, gold reminded me of Belle, so bring a little bit more gold into the look. Okay, next, just taking a clean fluffy powder brush, and I'm just going to make sure my bronzer, my blush, and my highlight all blend nicely and that we have no harsh lines on our face. So next, taking my Urban Decay Smoky Smudger brush and my Master Palette by Mario, and we're going to be using the same crease shade, so I'm going to be taking Lula, and this one's going to go the farthest down on our lower lash line. And then just taking a clean fluffy blending brush and blending out those edges. Next, we're going in with Violetta from the Master Palette by Mario and an angled brush and packing this closer towards the lash line. So next, going with my Tarteist Pro palette and the color Smoked and the same brush, and just packing this on the outer half of my eye. So this is where my camera stopped recording. So I am taking my Velour Lashes in the shade Doll Me Up and applying those along with some brown eyeliner on my lower lash line. And yeah, just apply your lashes, whatever lashes you choose. So next I'm going in with my MAC lip liner in the shade Soar and my Lise Watier lipstick in Eva. And I was trying to go for something rosy that reminded me of Belle. She's like a very rosy lip all the time. But it just turned out to be a little bit too much color for me. So I ended up going back in with Ludwig, of course. It's my favorite liquid lipstick right now. Favorite lipstick right now in general. And I feel like that just made the look a little bit more neutral. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you guys can see more videos from me. I post every Wednesday and Friday. And we will see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.